It's Vegan Freak Radio number 89 for the 24th of March, 2008.
Coming to you from high atop their elite fortress of moral superiority, here are your protein-deficient hosts, Bob and Jenna.
Hey, freaks, this is Bob.
And Jenna.
And we're back again for another edition of Vegan Freak Radio.
Finally.
Finally.
We keep saying, we should just stop saying we're going to do one like X date because we never do.
Yeah, well.
We're busy, as always.
We are. Although when summer comes, we will almost certainly do them weekly.
Yeah, I think so.
So once May rolls around, we'll be probably cranking out weekly shows or so.
Excellent.
Somewhere in there.
All right.
All right, let's. We got a couple of things we're going to talk about today on the show. We're going to review a couple of things. We're going to do a quick news thing. We're going to do a couple emails. We got a nice little show planned for you today. Yeah. And hopefully you will be interested in what I'm talking about today, unlike most of my students who were bored to death today. Back after a week of break, I was giving a lecture on wage, labor, and capital by Karl Marx, and they looked at me like they just looked so bored, and I couldn't stand it. It was driving me insane. And finally I said to them, do you think I am alienated labor up here in front of you? I'm working right now. I am alienated labor. And they were all like, well, anyway. Hopefully the radio show will be a little more interesting.
Yeah. Better audience.
Well, that's true. I mean, there's more interest in the topic as
exactly.
well. I mean,
people are listening because they want to listen.
Exactly. My theory class is not something people are taking by choice.
Right. They have to.
They have to. So here we are. We're back again. I think what we'll begin with is this BBC News article that a whole bunch of people sent to us. We want to thank all the people who sent it. I can't unfortunately thank all of them by name. There are like a ton. But the article is called Vegan Diet Help for Arthritis. And the article says that rheumatoid arthritis patients may be able to reduce their high risk of heart attacks and strokes with a gluten-free vegan diet, a study suggests. So let's see. Rheumatoid arthritis affects around 250,000 people in the UK. And that an arthritis research and therapy study found that those who pursued a vegan regime had less quote-unquote bad cholesterol. Research at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm say that the risk could be reduced through a diet which excludes animal products and gluten found in wheat, oats, rye, and barley. What they did is they placed 38 volunteers on a diet in which protein accounted for 10% of daily energy intake, carbohydrate 60, and fat for 30. It included nuts, sunflower seeds, fruits, and vegetables, millet, and corn. Happy. Sesame milk provided a daily source of calcium.
Sesame milk?
Sesame milk.
I don't think I've ever seen sesame milk.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like it'd be good.
I don't know, maybe.
Sesame milk?
I don't know.
Think about tahini.
Tahini's very strong.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Well, whatever.
I guess they're probably trying to avoid soy.
I think they were trying to do nut milk.
Nut milk.
Nut milk. I'm looking for... Oh, it took the Beavis out of here.
Oh, no.
Where is it? Oh, no. There's no
How
Beavis.
can we say nut milk without a Beavis noise?
I don't know. I took it out.
Oh, well.
This works.
It's riddling for all of you.
Anyway, the point of this is that those on the vegan diet showed a decrease in the total level of cholesterol and specifically a reduction in the amount of low-density lipoprotein, LDL, known as bad cholesterol. In contrast, those on the non-vegan diet showed no significant variations in these levels. So what it does is basically it looks at how the vegan volunteers had a lower BMI at the end of the 12-month period while the control group remained the same. And, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's nice that they didn't need animal studies to tell us this either. It was all human studies.
Yeah, but then they say things like this at the end of the article.
Of course, that pissed me off the most.
Yeah, it's a fine article. Although, I don't know, 28 volunteers is really...
Well, no, but...
Well, it's actually 38 volunteers on the vegan diet and 28 on a regular diet.
Well, I wonder if it was statistically significant. Does it say?
It doesn't say. It doesn't seem like it would be with a number that small. Anyway, the differences, I suppose, could be... Blah, 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 blah. The Arthritis Research Campaign, which is currently looking into how statins may reduce cardiovascular risks for sufferers, said the study was of interest, but said the role of diet could be exaggerated. However, quote, however, we do know that, for example, eating oily fish, not vegan, can reduce inflammation, and risk factors for developing the condition include high consumption of red meat,
Not vegan.
and low consumption of fruit and vegetables.
Not vegan.
So diet does play a role. You do have to eat your fruits and vegetables, vegans. You can't live on battered, deep-fried pizza alone. Okay, Lily? Anyway, include high consumption of red meat and low consumption of fruit and vegetables. So diet does play a role, however limited, a spokeswoman said. But the charity also sounded a note of warning. Sorry, I'm a little slow today.
Well, you're reading and trying to do that.
It's a lot
hard.
to do.
Yeah, it is.
We need a touch screen. We can.
Oh, that'd be
you click them.
awesome.
Wouldn't that be cool? You just click
Yeah.
them rather than having the mouse. Like, click.
Can you like do this on an iPod Touch?
Oh, that would be a pain in the ass.
Okay.
We need a whole big screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, are you ready?
Okay.
A vegan diet may be helpful in reducing cholesterol, but it can be difficult to get enough of some important nutrients on a vegan diet. Just thought we would make sure everybody's scared enough now.
Yeah. It's like, veganism has been shown to be great for this, but, you probably really shouldn't do it.
The
What's
Vegan
like-
Society stressed that it was
What the
important for
hell?
people following all kinds of diet to ensure they got sufficient quantities of the correct micronutrients. Now, that's true.
Well, of course.
Absolutely.
I mean, you still need to eat a variety of things.
Yep.
There's only one nutrient that's you need to watch out for, which is, we always say, B12.
Absolutely.
Take your B12. Well, we're going to talk about that later,
Yeah.
actually. That and, I mean, omega-3s, but even people who eat,
You just eat some fucking walnuts.
or some flax seeds, or take a supplement. Even people who eat a meaty diet
Yeah.
can still be low in omega-3s, too.
That's right. Absolutely.
So.
And, it was interesting. I talked to a student a couple weeks ago, and she's writing kind of a report on veganism for a class that she's working on the food system. And it was interesting to talk to her because she came in her class, they were reading The Omnivore's Dilemma and and that Peter Singer book, too.
Our favorite books.
Yeah. So they were reading that book, and she said that it got her teacher to cut back on the meat that she was consuming. And I said to her that I thought that was a curious thing. And she said, "Why is it curious?" And I said, "Well, if your teacher recognizes that eating meat is a moral wrong, it strikes me as the kind of thing that one should stop doing rather than limit." And she said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, like if you recognize pedophilia is a moral wrong, right? Do you suddenly molest fewer children, or do you just decide you're not going to molest them at all?" So the point of the student, though, and I know pedophilia and meat eating, they're different, but they're both moral wrongs, right? No, the point of me telling that story is that the student had a lot of questions about veganism from this perspective of it being kind of a deficient diet. She said to me, "Is your wife going to have children?" And I said, "Oh, no." And well, if you did, would she be vegan during pregnancy? And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And I told her, "Look, I know plenty of vegans who are pregnant, who have been pregnant and had who
Completely
have
healthy.
kids that are vegan, and they're all healthy." It's like, but she said, "Oh, some of the articles I read said veganism wasn't healthy for children, it wasn't healthy for pregnant women." And I said to her, "Look, you need to read this article. The American Dietetic Association has a position paper on this. You need to check it out." The point I'm getting at, though, is that there is this assumption out there that, in fact, veganism is somehow really bad for you.
Veganism bad.
Yeah.
It's like people hear that, and then because they want to believe it, they don't want to believe that veganism's good, because then it might be something that, oh my God, I should do. Of course they don't want to do that. They want to believe it's bad, because then they're like, oh, you silly vegans, you're unhealthy.
I think that's true. Hey, next time I want to have a soy milk cappuccino while we're doing the show, you should stop me.
Why?
It makes me like phlegmy. And
That's not good. Well, we also have a double, which I'm sure is not helping.
there's no other way to do it. Yeah. I totally lost my train of thought.
It's riddling for all of you.
Yeah. No. So there is this assumption that, in fact, veganism is a bad thing, and I think that's the wrong way to approach it.
Of course, you need to approach it with an open mind.
Yeah.
Look at the evidence for and against, and decide.
Absolutely.
But
And
we, of course, would be biased on the for side, because we think it's the way to go.
but you can be unhealthy as a vegan, but you can be unhealthy as an omnivore.
Exactly.
You can be unhealthy. I mean, it's an unhealthy world we live in.
Yes.
We are in a toxic food environment, surrounded every single day by thousands of bad choices that are very simple to make. The worst choices are the easiest ones to make.
Exactly. They're cheap, they're plentiful, and they're just taste really good.
Yeah, they do. I mean, and that's it. That's why fast food is so successful. Right?
Exactly.
It hits this like evolutionary sweet spot for us. It's like fatty and salty and sweet, and it's just like our bodies are trained to love this stuff by evolution.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I don't believe in creationism. I don't know. Someone in one of my classes we were talking, a student said to me, "Do you believe in evolution?" And I said, "No, I don't believe in it." And she said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "There's no belief required. I don't have to believe in it at all. It's a set of theories that is logical. It requires no belief. It requires no faith. So." And she's like, "That's not what I meant." And I said, I know, but it doesn't require belief. I don't believe in it. I understand it. It's a logical thing. It's a set of theories that there's a significant amount of evidence for, and I buy it. I'm into it, right? I can accept it. So I don't know. Should we move on?
We should move on. We thought today that since we had sort of a pile of things that either people sent to us or we bought or we've seen around, people recommended stuff to us, that we do a couple of reviews. And the first thing we want to review is food. We were sent a sample of teese.
We were sent a
massive sample of teese.
We were sent a huge honking log of teese. Okay, if you don't know what teese is, we should describe it.
Teese is a new vegan cheese substitute. It's spelled Teese, by the way.
I mean, the block of teese we were sent was so big that you could hit people with it and hurt them. It's this big blue log of teese. You could just bam.
Yes, and it is from the people who make Temptation Vegan Ice Cream. Which is in Chicago or outside of Chicago, and is mostly available in the Midwest, although apparently it's spreading. And so their cheese is going to be available, widespread, hopefully. And this is a substitute for mozzarella.
It is. And go ahead.
It's really good.
It is really good.
This is not something we eat on a regular basis because it's not health food. Let's start there.
I mean, I think it's pretty, health-wise, this isn't the sort of thing. I don't want to say it's like really bad for you, right?
No.
But it's high in fat, and it's not the sort of thing you should eat on a daily basis, like probably.
No.
However, if you're going to eat a pizza, you might as well eat a fucking pizza and enjoy it.
Exactly.
It's good.
It's good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So let's see what we did with it. We made lasagna. We made quesadillas. We made nachos.
Yes, we did.
And we made seitan cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
I like that the best, I think.
The seitan
these
cheesesteak
with the mozzarella.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
So what it is, though, it's a mozzarella analog. It smells, and I haven't had mozzarella in a number of years, but it tastes to me like mozzarella, and it doesn't. I don't really like Follow Your Heart that much. I actually don't like it at all, and this doesn't have that weird taste that Follow Your Heart seems to have to me, like an off taste in a way. This just tastes. This tastes really. It just tastes good.
Yeah. It doesn't have a lot of soy products have an aftertaste.
Yeah.
And at least, I don't know, I didn't notice it at all.
I didn't either.
But then again, we eat soy products, we drink soy milk and whatever.
Sure.
So, but you gave it to a couple of your students who are vegan.
Yeah, I did. The block we had was so big, I gave it to a couple students who were vegan. They loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, they said this is like the best thing they've had. They made pizzas with it and they made pizza bagels and did all kinds of stuff with it. They loved it, and yeah. I actually think this is a really superior product in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think it's the best mozzarella substitute that I've
It's the
tried.
best vegan. Well, yeah, mozzarella substitute because Cheesely is a really good.
Yeah, but we didn't try the mozzarella cheesely.
No, but
we only tried the cheddar.
Yeah. The cheddar Cheesely is extremely good. And this company is, of course, vegan-owned, vegan-operated, and they use dedicated vegan equipment.
Yeah, and that's not something you find.
You don't find that very often.
We forgot to mention that this stuff melts.
Oh, that's right, which is really important. It doesn't just turn into chunks. It
melts.
actually melts. And it looks like melted cheese.
Yeah.
It's almost, not almost, it is uncanny. Mm-hmm. And it's a little...
It weirds me out a little bit.
Yeah. if you're not used to eating cheese, right? And I'm not. To see it melt, and it smells like cheese, it tastes like cheese. Well, what I remember cheese tasting like. It's great. And so what we did was we made these like seitan cheesesteaks. You just took a little bit. We took the seitan and onions and peppers and fried it up And then what I did is took the very thinly sliced tease and put it on there. And then I covered it and put a little bit of water in the bottom of the pan and let it, and it just melted on there. And we put that on some bread, man.
It melted really. I think that's the way it melted the best. It melts nicely in the microwave too, but
It does.
it melted the best. Yes.
And it really melts. And I mean, the way it melts is great. It doesn't turn clumpy. It just really melts nicely. So I think this is a really good product, and I hope that it will spread around very quickly. So really, most of it is essentially soy milk when it comes down to it, and some other stuff in there. But it's completely vegan, and I mean, if you got a pizza joint near your house that's open to it, you should get them to get this
Definitely.
stuff because it's good.
Definitely. And the URL, in case you're interested, is teesecheese.com, and we'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, I mean, everybody I gave it to liked it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
except we gave it to High and Seal, but two friends of ours, and they seem a little more lukewarm on it.
Yeah.
But I think,
But they don't eat the cheese substitutes at all.
right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I think they were lukewarm. I think they're lukewarm on cheese substitutes in general.
Yeah.
So, but the students I gave it to, man, they were into it hardcore.
Yeah.
So, and we ate a lot of it. In fact, I think it's why my pants are fitting a little more tightly. I got to be careful. So,
But it is good stuff.
It is good, and we were not paid to say any of that.
No, we are not. Okay. The next product.
We're not paid to say any of these things.
No, we're
by the
not.
way.
We were sent that for free, though.
Yeah.
That tease, and we were sent one of the cookbooks we're going to talk about for free. But the others, all this other stuff, we bought ourselves.
Yeah.
So the second thing we're going to talk about is something that Sarah B. Is that what you said?
Yeah, on IRC.
On IRC mentioned.
Oh, by the way, we have a chat room. Yeah, we do. If anyone's ever interested, we have an IRC channel. You could just go to chat.serenia.net, and the room is vegan. If you don't know, I'll just put some. I'll write it in the show notes.
Okay.
We also have a link on the web. I'll put that up on the show notes too.
Okay.
But anyway, on IRC, she talked about these.
A B12 patch. And we're always telling you that make sure you get your B12 because we want you to be healthy, happy vegans.
In fact, I think the B12 shortage might explain why so many vegans are crazy in the head.
And
a lot of you people are fucking crazy. I mean it.
What was I going to say?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. I'm a bad kid.
You are.
It rubs the lotion on its skin.
I need the
and
hose.
Gets the hose again.
I should just get the hose. I'm bad. Go ahead.
Anyway, I think the way most people, most vegans get their B12 is either through fortified foods like soy milk or through a vitamin that you have to take, and you either swallow it as a multivitamin or you have to take one of these lozenges that you're supposed to put under your tongue, and it's kind of a pain, and they usually taste weird. So we thought we'd try this B12 patch. And it's something you stick it, it's like a little patch, and you stick it behind your ear for 24 hours, and you're supposed to do this once a week.
Right.
And they give you 4 to a box, so you get a month's supply. These things are the shit.
They're pretty cool. They really are.
I swear to God. They are amazing. Apparently, I was low in B12 or something.
Well, no, you don't necessarily have to be low in B12, right? I mean,
Right.
when I went to have my blood tested not long ago, I got tested for B12 just out of curiosity. I was fine. And these felt really nice to me too.
Yeah, okay. Well, the literature that came with it says, what does vitamin B12 do for you? Increases energy, promotes concentration, improves memory, reduces risk of heart disease. I can't really comment on the last two, but it definitely increased energy and promoted concentration.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for the first 24 hours, I was like, woo! I was at my computer doing stuff. I was concentrating. I was focused.
Yeah.
I had a lot of energy. It was just amazing.
Yeah, these are good. I really like them.
And they're supposed to replace a B12 shot.
Yeah, so, you wouldn't even you actually really probably don't even need to do one every week. I mean, that's the thing. You could do them less often, but,
Sure.
I actually think the thing's pretty good. I like these a lot. And they're good because for some people can have difficulty absorbing B12 in their gut. So what this does is it delivers nutrients right into your circulatory system by absorption through the skin, which is really cool. And, it's a little patch, and it really sticks out on my skin. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm kinda yellow.
You also don't have any hair to cover it.
That's true, too.
My hair covered it, so.
That's true. And what it does is it says here that it gives you direct delivery to the bloodstream, and it bypasses the liver, and a greater amount of nutrients are bioavailable. So, you just put it right across, opposite your earlobe, and then you just leave it there. You don't even feel it. And, dude, it just makes you feel I felt really clear-headed.
Clear was a good way to put it. Yeah.
I felt really clear-headed.
I felt clear. I felt happy. I felt
Yeah.
very, it was easy to concentrate on the stuff I was doing.
The only downside to these is they aren't really cheap.
No.
It's like for 4 of them, it's about $25, which isn't bad if you think about it. But
Yeah, in terms of vitamins,
Yeah,
that's
for
about a
vitamin-
month's supply of like a
for a
multi.
decent vitamin, yeah. So for a vitamin, it's not bad, but, you can't be popping them every single day.
Well, no. Overdose there. So.
Well, you can't overdose on B12.
No, you can't.
So, but they're good. I actually really like them, and it's the sort of thing that. Jesus Christ!
At least he's not in the same room.
He'll be in here.
Oh, it's the UPS guy. Why does the UPS guy always come when we do the podcast?
Let's pause it.
Okay, after that unscheduled break there, we had to stop our recording because the dogs were being very loud. Because for some reason, we always get a UPS delivery during the podcast.
We have not had a UPS delivery here in weeks.
No.
In weeks.
Since the last podcast, probably.
That's true. That's so strange.
I know.
Anyway, what were we talking about? B12.
B12. I think we were done with B12.
We're done with B12. So the B12 patch is cool. Do we have an URL for this?
Yeah, it's on the bottom there.
An URL.
On the other side.
I hate when people call them URLs. B12patch.com.
There you go.
So I don't know, European folks, I have no clue if you can get them in Europe or not.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Something to investigate. Okay.
I think not. JC2K was
Oh, really?
trying to find a UK distributor, but anyway, let's move on.
Okay. We also wanted to talk about some cookbooks
Yeah.
that came out recently. The first one is Vegan Express by Nava Atlas, and we were sent this one for free to review,
Yeah.
just so you know. And so far, we haven't made a whole lot out of here. We only made 2 recipes.
There was something funny though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Since we publish some things, when you send books out for review, you usually send along a one sheet, like kind of a single sheet of paper about the book itself that kind of gives you a little summary of things, so you know what you're getting into, and it usually gives you some information about the book and about the author and all that. So what I thought was really funny was this whole thing. Apart from its appeal to committed vegans who don't have hours to spend in the kitchen, Vegan Express is the perfect book for baby boomers who may have once dabbled in vegetarianism and would like to once again boost their health with a diet rich in vegetables and grains. Nothing wrong with that. Young adult vegans who need a resource that is mainstream enough to bridge the culinary gap between themselves and their parents when meals are shared. It's not bad either. Parents of young vegans who feel adrift in the punk, tattooed, and often complex world of popular vegan culture. Complex? What is complex about vegan culture?
I don't know. I wouldn't call it complex. I would call it, I don't know. Well, I guess it's very foreign.
Yeah, that's true.
To most people.
That's true. My mom, said to me, why don't you vegans have, tattoos and stuff?
It's just a small portion of us.
It is. It is. But what it says is, with its eclectic and casual approach to vegan cooking, Nav Atlas's recipes are good for your taste buds, are as good for your taste buds as they are for your health. So, anyway, if you feel confused or adrift in the punk, tattooed, and often complex world of popular vegan culture, Vegan Freak Radio is your beacon, your lighthouse in a veritable sea awash in craziness. Vegan Express.
Okay, so what we made out of here was pink bean quinoa and spinach soup.
I don't remember that.
I ate it for lunch one. It was the quinoa soup. I made it for lunches. It was tomatoey beans, quinoa.
I think things aren't as they used to be
Apparently
with my
not.
memory. Are you sure those patches are working?
Apparently not.
I really don't. It
was a while ago.
Yeah. Was it blended up and fed me with a straw?
Apparently.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That was really good. I like that. It was nicely flavored.
I don't
And
remember
it had like
it.
a curry, little bit of a curry edge to it.
I don't remember it.
Okay. And this, we also made the seitan and polenta skillet with fresh greens.
Oh, that's good. I remember that.
You remember that because we made it twice.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
We changed the recipe though.
We did because it did not call for any garlic.
Yeah, we added garlic. It was good though.
It was good. So the things that we made have been good.
Yeah.
We just haven't made a ton out of it because it doesn't really match the way we cook, I think is the way to put it. It's not that the recipes are bad. It's just that we tend to cook more sort of ethnic,
Yeah.
Chinese, Indian,
Asian.
kind of things.
Yeah.
But I do think this cookbook would be really good for new vegans.
Absolutely.
It'd be perfect for them, or perfect. Vegan Express. The recipes are fast.
They are.
And I do think it would be good for someone who's maybe interested in trying some sort of new things. Because she has sort of like Thai recipes and Indian recipes that aren't quite authentic. But they've got some of the flavors.
Right.
So I think if you're interested in trying some of these things that you've never tried before, it would be a good place to start.
Yeah, I think it's good for a bunch of things in that way. I also think that I think this is a good book to have in your repertoire.
Sure,
You know,
definitely.
if you're kind of a cookbook fetishist and you like to have a lot of different cookbooks and things to draw from, it's a good book. There's a lot of decent recipes in it.
It's a bit heavy on there's an entire chapter on tofu seitan tempeh, and it's a bit heavy on the pasta as well. So just so you're aware.
Yeah, we're not really big pasta eaters.
No, we're not. Not at
So
all.
that might be another reason we didn't get as much mileage out of it as
and there
we...
are a lot of rice dishes, and we try not to eat a lot of rice. So, yeah. But, the recipes look pretty good, so.
And the things we made out have been good. So.
All right, so there's that. Vegan Express.
Cool.
The other two cookbooks that we want to talk about are recent cookbooks that we bought ourselves because they looked good. And the first one is The Asian Vegan Kitchen by Hema Parekh.
Big thumbs up for that one.
Oh, my God. Everything we've made out of here has been fantabulous.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. I'll list the recipes that we've made so far. Well, sure. First, I should say that it's got recipes from India, Japan, China, Thailand, Vietnam, Burma, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Korea.
Cool.
So it gives you a sampling of recipes from all those different places. The author is Indian, but she lives in Japan, and she teaches Asian cooking classes. So she's got some experience in all of these cuisines. Let's see what we've made out here. So from the Indian section, we made a navrata. How do you say that? Navrata.
I don't know.
Korma. It's assorted vegetables and cashew gravy.
A curry.
A curry. Cabbage and...
That was really good.
That was good.
That was really good.
Although, the picture is actually on the front cover, and it's red, and ours turned out green.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how she got hers red, because it calls for like a cup of cilantro.
Yeah, it was excellent, though.
It was good, but, okay, anyway. So we made that. We made, what else we made? Sesame potatoes, which you also don't remember, but they were good.
What? Yeah, last night you came into my office. You're like, can we have the sesame potatoes? I was like, what? I don't remember. I think I'm getting really old. I don't know. I don't know what my problem is.
How can you talk if you haven't got a brain?
I don't know. But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking. Don't
I
they?
do. I have a brain. I just don't. I don't remember things. If I cooked it again, I'd remember it.
Right. Apparently, we need to make things twice.
Yeah.
But we should remember, we also made cabbage and potato dry curry. We just made that 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should remember that. Okay.
That was good, too.
That was really good. We made, from the Japanese section, we made bitter gourd and tofu stir fry.
That was good, too.
That was really good.
If you like bitter melon.
Right.
I mean, for those of you that don't know what it is, it's like this really... It looks like if you've ever watched, like, Star Trek, and you see them eating, like... you see them eating vegetables, it looks like a vegetable that you would see some alien race on Star Trek eating. It looks like a shrivelly cucumber. I don't know, what is it?
Yeah, it looks kind of like a cucumber. It's lighter green, but it's more wrinkly.
Yeah, and they're really bitter. I mean, it's got seeds inside, and they're pretty bitter. So you have to like bitter things to like them. Mm-hmm. But the bitter melon with the tofu was very good. Yeah. And we'd watched a BBC Horizon about living to be 101.
Yeah.
Right? And they were making that, like the bitter melon with the tofu, and it looked really good.
It's apparently from the region in Japan where they all live to be really old. Was it Okinawa? Is that right? Is that it?
Osaka?
No, wait. It's in here. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, so we made that from the Japanese section. For the Vietnamese section, we made stir-fried eggplant and tofu and spicy sauce.
That's good.
We made twice, so you
I do remember that. I do remember that.
That was really good.
So we kind of cheated with that one, though, right? We
did. Well, here's the thing. The recipes are really authentic. In that they call for a lot of authentic ingredients. Mm-hmm. And they also call for you to make a lot of perhaps stock from scratch or sauces from scratch.
Right.
Which I think if you took the time to do would make these even better.
Yeah, but they were good as they were.
But since we didn't feel like going through all that. We sort of took some shortcuts and used some pre-prepared sauce, kind of chili garlic sauce and that kind
Yeah.
of things. And it turned out really well anyway.
It did indeed. It was very good.
Yeah. So
That's a good dish. Go ahead.
yeah.
Did you find that other one yet?
No.
Why don't you look in the index? I'll talk about the
Okay.
chili fried rice we made.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
The chili fried rice is good too. And we only made that once, and I do remember it. So it's just basically it's basically a fried rice, but what you do is add some Thai curry paste to it, and it was very good. The only thing is we, in our laziness, use pre-prepared Thai curry paste.
Yeah.
And I think it made it a little too salty in a way. So if I were going to do it again, I might try to do it maybe with a homemade curry paste. Where is it?
Okinawa.
Okinawa. There you go. You were right,
Okay.
as always.
So anyway, it's divided into the sections by country.
Yep.
The only thing is, this is a layout thing that really annoys me.
The ingredients are really small.
Well, that too. The sections are only labeled at the very beginning of the section. So if you open up the book into a random page
You don't-
and you look at the recipe, you have no idea what section it's from. Because you would think it'd be labeled at the top
At the
in
header?
margins or something
Yeah.
in the header, but it's not.
Man.
Which is annoying. So you got to flip back to see where it is.
But it's a good book.
But otherwise, it's a really good book.
Yeah, it is.
The only other thing is that in the Chinese recipes, she calls for sake
Yeah.
and miso, which are not Chinese ingredients. I would think you'd call for Chinese rice wine.
Probably.
But anyway, so if you
It's probably about getting the right taste, really, when it comes down to it. So
really, it's close. I mean, it is rice wine essentially. So anyway, some of these recipes might be a little daunting if you've never cooked some Asian cuisines before, because they call for a lot of strange ingredients, and you might not be able to get the ingredients if you live somewhere without an Asian grocery.
we can get them.
But we have an Asian grocery.
But we live in the middle. We live in bumfuck Egypt. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of it you can get online
that's true too.
as well, except for some of the fresh ingredients.
I actually think, though, that the way most people cook, the Vegan Express book is probably a better book for the way most
Yeah,
people cook.
exactly.
We're weird.
We are weird.
We're really weird people in the way that we cook.
Yeah, we go to our local Asian store, and she's like, "You eat that?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Well, she has great greens over there, man.
Yeah.
We eat all kinds of different greens from the Asian grocery. So
Cool.
And bitter melon,
Yeah. So this book is perfect for us because it's like all of our favorite cuisines in one book.
Pretty
And
much.
the recipes have been everything we made has been so good.
Yeah, it has. It has. And the flavors have been really excellent. So I've been impressed. And I'm not easily impressed. I am not.
Cool.
Korean wontons.
I know I can't flip through the pictures in that book because I'm just like, it makes my stomach growl every time. Everything looks so good. So like Korean pancakes and
Mini lotus root pancakes. Potato and onion pancakes.
up.
Vegetable pancakes. Chilled noodles. These noodles are not stressed out. They're totally chill. Chilled noodles. That's right. Chilled noodles. Japchae, I like that. That's
I do
good.
too.
And bibimbap. Who doesn't like bibimbap?
Bibimbap's awesome.
Come on. I like it. It doesn't sound nearly as much fun in English. Korean wok seared spicy rice with vegetables. Bibimbap. Bibimbap. Okay.
So yeah.
Yes, I'm done playing now.
Yes. And this book is also good for us since we don't have any Asian restaurants anywhere near us.
We do have a new Moroccan restaurant, which rocks.
Oh, I couldn't believe it.
It rocks the Casbah.
It's called the Casbah.
I know.
Yeah. We have like a dearth of cuisine up here. We cannot go out to eat much because A, it's mostly not vegan, and B, it's mostly bad.
That's true.
But yeah, Moroccan restaurant, and they treated us really well.
They were awesome. So if you live in or near Potsdam, New York, check out the Casbah. It's very good, and they're very kind to vegans.
They are.
They were excellent. I mean, I was surprised.
I was
shocked.
at how good it was.
It's the best food I've ever had up here.
Yeah.
Ever. Period.
Yeah.
So I was pretty pleased with that. This looks good though. The bibimbap. We should make this.
Okay.
3.5.
We're probably missing a few ingredients.
What am I
however.
missing?
I don't know.
All right, shiitake mushrooms. Yeah. Tofu. Kombu dashi. We can make.
Okay.
We have kombu.
Okay.
Soy sauce. Mirin. Sugar.
Yeah.
Oil. Gochujang paste.
Yeah, we do. We have the spicy. Is that okay?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Short grain rice.
Somewhere. Yeah.
White radish.
Nope.
Fail. Cucumber.
I think.
Bell pepper.
Yeah.
5 green beans. Just 5.
Only 5?
Only 5.
Okay. Yeah, we have those.
Score. We have everything except the white radish, which we would never be able to get up here anyway.
No.
Yeah, dude. Cool. And then what you do is... okay, so...
Well, even back what I've had before, I said like spinach or some sort of green...
Feel free to add red cabbage, shiso leaves, baby greens, green chilies, or shredded nori seaweed.
Ooh.
And then you take the mushrooms and tofu strips in a saucepan, and you put in the dashi and bring them to a boil, and then you have the soy sauce and all and some other stuff, and you simmer them for a few minutes, and then you do a tablespoon of sesame oil, bad, in an iron wok or frying pan. Oh, dude.
Stop. We're doing this before dinner. It's bad.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Sorry.
Anyway, the last cookbook we wanted to talk about is called Refresh, and it's contemporary vegan recipes from the award-winning Fresh restaurants. This is their second cookbook. Apparently they have a Fresh cookbook already out there. And it's got new recipes and some recipes that apparently weren't in the first one. Stuff that they make in their restaurant. And if you
which is a chain, right?
Which is a chain in Toronto. So, if you are a fan, if you've been to the restaurants, they've got, I mean, the food is really fresh there. They've got like salads and wraps and sandwiches, and they've got a huge juice bar.
The only thing I've ever had at Fresh that I've not liked are their burgers. I think their burgers are lame. Maybe it could have just been a bad burger.
Maybe.
But go ahead.
Maybe they've got a recipe in here. The recipe looks good.
I know.
Sounds like it should be good.
Well, the one I had was horrible.
Right. Well, that's a shame. Because I had a wrap there and it was really good.
Everything else I've had there has been really good, but the burger was subpar. Subpar.
That's a shame.
It is unfortunate.
Right.
But go ahead.
So yeah, so in this book they've got soups and salads and appetizers and brunch, sauces and marinades, veggie burgers,
juices,
and wraps,
right?
Juices, a lot of juices. It's heavy on the juices. And what else? Rice bowls.
Oh yeah, they were
They
good.
look good.
Did we
So-
make one of those?
no, we did not.
Oh, I guess I
You
thought
thought
we
about
did.
it.
We thought hard about it.
We haven't made a ton out of here either yet. It's a pretty cookbook. It's got lots of nice shiny pages and pictures.
It dothe indeed.
The only things we made of it were the carrot and coriander soup.
That was good.
It was good. And Cuban chickpea and potato soup.
That was good too.
It was good. And we made a green dressing for salad. But it was only okay.
That was meh.
It was okay.
Yeah. That was only meh.
Yeah. But that's all we've made out of it so far.
It was only okay. But I'm looking forward to making more out of there.
Yeah.
The rice bowls look very good.
They do.
A bunch of
As
things
do the
in there look
salads,
good.
and so do a lot of the shakes and
Yeah.
elixirs. Although I should mention that this is not a completely vegan yes, because they call for various bee products.
Not vegan.
Not vegan.
Oh my god, that is totally not vegan.
Which is really annoying. But otherwise is vegan.
What if a monkey made you a sandwich? Would you eat it then?
This sounds good. Almond Java espresso shake. Espresso, soy milk, almond butter, banana, maple syrup, and ice cubes. Ooh. Anyway. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so
That's that.
we'll, in the show notes for the show at our site, veganfreeradio.com, we will put links to all of these books, and I'll send them out in our little show newsletter for the subscribers and for people who get that.
All right.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
I'll put links in there. Should we move on to email?
Yes, we should.
Email. I haven't played a theme in so long.
Oh.
You've got mail.
Okay, let's see here. Cialis? No, don't need that. Bigger bust size? No. Free iPod? Oh, it might do that. Oh, are you pleasing your woman? Well, you better ask her. Oh, well, what's this? Vegan Freak email? Vegan Freak email. Yes.
Okay, we got a bunch of emails, but we only really had time to grab a couple before the show. So, we have an email from Sarah T, and she says, I just wanted to say thanks to you guys. Thanks. I became vegan after being vegetarian for a few years by the progressive loss of desire for dairy. Shortly after the progression began, she stopped using milk in her tea. I discovered you guys. Didn't listen to you too regularly, but not because I didn't like you. I don't know why. But then I noticed my cheese going bad before I could eat it all, and I'm talking about an 8-ounce block going bad. Then I decided to actively find alternatives to eggs and milk for my baking, and thus started calling myself vegan. And after listening to you guys, I become an ethical vegan in addition to my general disgust in animal products. I'm also not too keen on fungus, but for taste reasons, not moral ones. That's right. Fungi cannot feel. They have no pain. They're not sentient.
Nope.
Do you think mushrooms are sentient?
I don't.
Actually, Terrence McKenna does, but we're not talking about those kinds of mushrooms. So thank you for opening my eyes to the ethical reasons behind veganism. I feel better about my veganism Not that I felt bad before, knowing I'm not only making my life a better one, but also helping those who don't have a voice. So I wanted to read that because I thought that was a very nice email.
It is. Plus, it's
Thank you,
nice to
Sarah.
show people that there's not just one path towards veganism. There are many.
There, there are many. There are many.
No, and people follow. Some people do it cold turkey. Some people, like her, just sort of fall off eating cold tofurkey.
To let 1,000 flowers bloom. Sorry.
Some people go towards it gradually, and then
Sure.
one day realize that, oh my gosh, I'm vegan. So people come to it in a lot of different ways.
Everybody's different, I think. So I think that's cool. But I'm glad that Sarah went vegan. I'm glad we could help her go vegan, and I'm glad that we can move in that direction.
Excellent.
So we had another email, though. The one I was supposed to... I think we swapped these by accident.
Oh,
Oh, you can
you
read
want me
it.
to read it? You can answer it.
Okay.
Okay.
And you can do the next one, too.
Okay, this is from Alice, who says, "Hi, I just finished your book last week, and so far it has really helped me a lot in dealing with other people. However, the one question I still have problem answering is, you're getting your information from the most extreme situations. I never know exactly what to say to this because I have personally not investigated each and every factory farm. I don't know what goes on. What do you suggest I say, as they think that by saying this it disproves my whole argument? Thank you."
Yeah, that's a common thing to hear, actually. I hear that in class a lot. You know, students will say to me, well, these are the most extreme situations. And I can say to them the following. No, these things are not extreme. Well, I mean, they aren't extreme situations, right? They're unfortunately normal situations for production agriculture. Suck. Suck. God damn it. Anyway, I fucking hate Windows so much. If it weren't for, before people send me email, if it weren't for this single piece of software, we would be using a Mac or Linux. However, this piece of software that we need runs only on Windows, and yes, it makes me angry. Anyway, no, a lot of the things, I mean, you know, some things are extreme situations, but more often than not, what you're looking at when you read things about production agriculture, these are the normal aspects of production agriculture. And what I mean is that I was surprised, because I have a degree in agricultural science. I was surprised to learn how things that most of us would think are pretty radical are in fact normal. And so what I want to get at here is that the whole production situation itself is extreme, and that all of these things about factory farming are the way that the businesses must run to remain profitable. So the things that we hear about for factory farming, that we know about the intensive confinement of animals, that we know about the use of antibiotics and hormones, that we know about all the other aspects of production agriculture that are horrible. In fact, these are the things that are normal and that must be done in order to remain profitable. So I can tell you, as someone who took classes in how to do these things, that these are standard industry practices. So these are standard ways to make money. And animals are turned essentially into machines for the production of profit. So the thing to remember is that, you know, all of this stuff, these aren't extreme situations. They are the everyday situations of production agriculture. And if people doubt you, you just have to look at things like the beef recalls, you know, these things that work their way into the system on a daily basis. These show you how intense the problems are. I mean, there was a beef recall, and the USDA, they basically said, well, you know, don't worry about it. You already ate it. So anyway, the point I'm getting at is that how do you respond to it being these are extreme situations? The answer is that they aren't extreme situations. That the way in which animals are exploited in the conditions of factory farming are the norm. They aren't the exception. And that's the way I would always answer that.
Plus, I would think that in order to feed the vast amount of people who want the meat, that there's no other way to do it.
There's no other way. I mean, look, 10 billion animals were slaughtered during the year I wrote Making a Killing. The year before I wrote Making a Killing. You can't grow and slaughter 10 billion animals in a year and do it nicely. There's just no way.
Right.
The numbers are too large.
Exactly. There's too much demand.
That's right. So, and you know, anyone who wants to know more about this should read books like Slaughterhouse by Gail Eisnitz is a good book to begin with. Actually, another really good book for wrapping your head around the whole slaughter system is Fast Food Nation by Eric Schlosser.
Yeah, actually it is. It is.
That one section about slaughterhouses is very good. Very good. Beyond Beef is another good book for talking about some of these issues. I haven't read that in a long time, but I remember it being okay. So there are a lot of different ways you can approach the question, but those situations are the normal ones, unfortunately.
Yep.
So there you go.
All right. This last email that we're going to do is from Mallory. She said, just a quick line to let you know. Every time I hear your dogs in the background, I smile. What a great reminder to enjoy the simple things in our lives. That's so true. Although they make our equipment go berserk.
They do. They clip. They make everything clip and go nuts.
That's true. They're being good now. They're laying on the floor, being all cute.
They are being good. No, they're awesome. They bring a lot of joy to our lives.
They do. Okay, number 2. You two sound so perfect for each other. Thank you.
Oh.
From the podcast, it seems you like you are so
That's
compatible.
just part of the show. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
From the podcast, it seems like you are so compatible and easygoing with each other.
That's just part of the show.
Questions. How did the two of you meet? Were you both vegetarian at that time, or did one help the other to be so? I'm not trying to be nosy. I'm just trying to arm myself with some good info to apply to my carny husband. He has so far supported my vegetarianism, but I'm nervous about telling him that I'm vegan.
Well, we were together for a while, and I read like Diet for New America, remember? Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm going to be a vegetarian. You were like, what? Remember?
Yeah.
You're like, you're crazy, whatever. I was like, well, you think I'm crazy or whatever, but that's what I'm going to do. So
Yeah. And then I read it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh.
And then you came along, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were both vegetarians for a long time, but I don't know. We are very compatible, and I guess we're similar in the sense that both of us are really swayed by logical argumentation. Mm-hmm. So, if we both read a really good logical or really good compelling argument, we're both kind of swayed by it. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's always been easy for us, I think, to be on the same page about these things.
Yeah, but when we met, back in the Stone Age, we
What?
we were omnivores.
Back before the internet.
It was.
Back before the World Wide Web. Yes, we were. I was a ravenous omnivore, in fact.
Yeah. So, so we came around to it together. But we're a lot alike in the way we approach the world. So
I think that's true.
In terms of things that are important to us like that. So I don't know. I guess we're very lucky in that way.
Yeah, we are. As for approaching the carnivore husband, I mean, I have no idea. If he's been supportive of your vegetarianism, I can't see why veganism would be that much more of a stretch, frankly. I mean,
right.
If someone's going to be supportive like that, they should be supportive. I mean, they're generally going to be supportive in most things, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I think for a lot of people, if they recognize it's something important to you, they'll usually come around to it, if not right away, very shortly thereafter.
Mm-hmm. Well, plus, I mean, you reassure him, tell him that, you'll still be able to go out to eat and do all these things as you were able to do before. You're just not going to eat some of the things you're eating before. So I don't know who does the cooking in your house or whatever, but, make sure you're still making yourself a lot of great meals, and I don't know how that all works, so you didn't explain that. But
I mean, going out to eat, we live in a very rural area, and I had to go out to eat a lot last semester. I didn't have any troubles. Mm-hmm. Even going to restaurants where I knew in advance that there were pretty limited vegan options, where I didn't have much of a choice about the restaurant. Mm-hmm. I just went in and said to the people nicely, like, look, this is what I need to do, and this is where I'm at. They accommodated me, and this is hardly like the most open-minded place in the world. Mm-mm. So, I didn't have any problems with that. So I think as long as, I guess what most people fear is that it's going to change their situation.
Right. that
you're going to change as a result of these choices, and then change the way that the relationship that you have with them. So I would think as long as you can reassure him that essential aspect of your relationship with each other won't change. Mm-hmm. I don't see how it could be really a huge problem, I guess. I know it's always a bone of contention for people.
Of course.
But I don't know. But we both went vegan pretty much at the same time, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or at the same time?
Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah.
You were like, I think we need to become vegan. And I was like, yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, you didn't put up
this
any
time
argument.
I was like, yeah, I think you're right. I think we have to.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
I remember it seemed like a really big thing to do.
It did, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. That's the thing, is I think people give it way too much mental weight. It's like, oh my God, it's going to be such a pain. It's going to be hard. It's going to be whatever. And
right.
It's really not.
No.
It's really not.
You have to get in the mindset, like, this is something I have to do.
Yeah.
For whatever the reason that you're doing it. So it's something you have to do, or like, okay, what do I have to do to make it happen? Do you throw out everything in your refrigerator? Do you give it to somebody else? Do you, read up on everything you can on it? Do you go buy new cookbooks? What do you do? So you just figure out what you have to do. Do it.
I agree. But you and I are different from a lot of people in that way, in that we usually aren't troubled with abrupt changes like that.
That's true.
A lot of people have difficulty with that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, everybody's different.
Of course, yeah.
I'm not saying it's better or worse.
I mean, plus food is so charged.
It is charged.
It's because it's what we do in social situations. We go out to eat. It's got a lot of emotional attachments for people, you know, and attachments to their culture and their family.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's very charged. But
absolutely. So are we done with email?
Yeah. We haven't heard that one in a while.
We haven't.
I think someone requested that Seitan's not vegan. Do we still have that on here somewhere? Or is that... No?
I don't know. A couple of sounds got moved or something, and I fucked them up.
Okay. Well, we'll have to get that one
We'll
next
get
time.
it. We'll get it.
Okay.
It'll be on.
Plus, there's only so much room
Yeah, that's the
on
thing.
our soundboard. So.
That's the thing.
Okay.
Where do I have it? I do have this.
Just because he doesn't eat it doesn't mean he doesn't beat it.
So dirty.
Ba 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 Jana. Woo!
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay. I think we're done.
I think we are too.
Before we bore people any further.
For real.
So.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should do a video cast for our subscribers. Would you do that?
We need a video camera.
We've got a Mac.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess we could do it on there.
We should.
Forgot. Yeah.
What do you think? You don't like to do them.
I get all self-conscious.
Why?
I don't know.
You're gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
You are. And you know it. It's me. I got these bags under my eyes. I'm old. I don't remember anything. What?
Maybe in the summer when I look healthier.
That's
we
actually
both
not a
look
bad
healthier.
idea. That's not a bad idea.
The winter will not die.
Yeah, this winter has been rough. Anyway, we'll be back again soon. Next week might be hard for us for a lot
Yeah,
of
next
reasons,
week sucks.
but we'll be around.
Yeah.
I do want to do a subscriber show soon too.
We should do that too.
I think I'm going to interview my parents. Well, I'm going to Philadelphia, and I think I'll interview them in person.
Good idea.
Anyway.
Okay.
Show at veganfreakradio.com. We're at 267-295-1944. We'll eventually play voicemails, I swear. And I don't know. That's about it. Come to our website, veganfreakradio.com, and we'll be back again soon.
See you later.
Bye.
I don't eat meat, and I don't eat dairy.
Touch screen. We can.
Oh, that'd be
you click
awesome.
them. Wouldn't that be cool? Like, you just click them rather than having the mouse. Like, click.
Can you like do this on an iPod Touch?
Oh, that would be a pain in the ass.
Okay.
We need a whole big screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, are you ready?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A vegan diet may be helpful in reducing cholesterol, but it can be difficult to get enough of some important nutrients on a vegan diet. Just thought we would make sure everybody's scared enough now.
Yeah. It's like, veganism has been shown to be great for this, but, you probably really shouldn't do it.
The Vegan Society stressed that it was important for
hell?
people following all kinds of diet to ensure they got sufficient quantities of the correct micronutrients. Now, that's true.
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
I mean, you still need to eat a variety of things.
Yep.
There's only one nutrient you need to watch out for, which is, we always say, B12.
Absolutely.
Take your B12. But we're going to talk about that later,
Yeah.
actually. That and, omega-3s, but even people who eat...
You just eat some fucking walnuts.
Yeah, or some flax seeds. Or take a supplement. Even people who eat a meaty diet
Yeah.
can still be low in omega-3s, too.
That's right. Absolutely.
So.
And, it was interesting. I talked to a student a couple weeks ago, and she's writing kind of a report on veganism for a class that she's working on the food system. And it was interesting to talk to her because she came in her class, they were reading The Omnivore's Dilemma and and that Peter Singer book, too.
Our favorite books.
Yeah. So they were reading that book, and she said that it got her teacher to cut back on the meat that she was consuming. And I said to her that I thought that was a curious thing. And she said, "Why is it curious?" And I said, "Well, if your teacher recognizes that eating meat is a moral wrong, it strikes me as the kind of thing that one should stop doing rather than limit." And she said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, like if you recognize pedophilia is a moral wrong, right? Do you suddenly molest fewer children, or do you just decide you're not going to molest them at all?" So the point of the student, though, and I didn't really, I know pedophilia and meat eating, they're different, but they're both moral wrongs, right? No, the point of me telling that story is that the student had a lot of questions about veganism from this perspective of it being kind of a deficient diet. You know, like, well, she said to me, "Is your wife going to have children?" And I said, "Oh, no." And well, if you did, would she be vegan during pregnancy? And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And I told her, "Look, I know plenty of vegans who are pregnant, who have been pregnant and had, who
completely healthy.
Have kids that are vegan, and they're all healthy." It's like, but she said, "Oh, some of the articles I read said veganism wasn't healthy for children, it wasn't healthy for pregnant women." And I said to her, "Look, you need to read this article. The American Dietetic Association has a position paper on this. You need to check it out." The point I'm getting at, though, is that there is this assumption out there that, in fact, veganism is somehow really bad for you.
Veganism bad.
Yeah.
It's like people hear that, and then because they want to believe it. They don't want to believe that veganism's good because then it might be something that, oh my God, I should do. Of course they don't want to do that. They want to believe it's bad because then they're like, oh, you silly vegans, you're unhealthy.
I think that's true. Hey, next time I want to have a soy milk cappuccino while we're doing the show, you should stop me.
Why?
It makes me like phlegmy. And
that's not good. Well, you also have a double, which I'm sure is not helping.
There's no other way to do it. Yeah. I totally lost my train of thought.
It's riddling for all of you.
Yeah. No, so there is this assumption that, in fact, veganism is a bad thing, and I think that's the wrong way to approach it.
It's Vegan Freak Radio number 89 for the 24th of March, 2008.
Coming to you from high atop their elite fortress of moral superiority, here are your protein-deficient hosts, Bob and Jenna.
Hey, freaks, this is Bob.
And Jenna.
And we're back again for another edition of Vegan Freak Radio.
Finally. We keep saying, we should just stop saying we're going to do one like X date because we never do.
Yeah, well.
We're busy, as always.
We are. Although when summer comes, we will almost certainly do them weekly.
Yeah, I think so.
So once May rolls around, we'll be probably cranking out weekly shows or so.
Excellent.
Somewhere in there.
All right.
Let's. We got a couple things we want to talk about today on the show. We're going to review a couple of things. We're going to do a quick news thing. We're going to do a couple emails. We got a nice little show planned for you today. Yeah. And hopefully you will be interested in what I'm talking about today, unlike most of my students who were bored to death today. Back after a week of break, I was giving a lecture on wage labor and capital by Karl Marx, and they looked at me like they just looked so bored, and I couldn't stand it. It was driving me insane. And finally I said to them, "Do you think I am alienated labor up here in front of you? I'm working right now. I am alienated labor." And they were all like, "Well." Anyway, hopefully the radio show will be a little more interesting. This works.
It's riddling for all of you.
Anyway, the point of this is that those on the vegan diet showed a decrease in the total level of cholesterol and specifically a reduction in the amount of low-density lipoprotein, LDL, known as bad cholesterol. In contrast, those on the non-vegan diet showed no significant variations in these levels. So what it does is basically looks at how the vegan volunteers had a lower BMI at the end of the 12-month period while the control group remained the same. And, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's nice that they didn't need animal studies to tell us this either. It was all human studies.
Yeah, but I mean, then they say things like this at the end of the article.
Of course, that pissed me off the most.
Yeah, it's a fine article. Although, I don't know, 28 volunteers is really...
Well, no, but...
Well, it's actually 38 volunteers on the vegan diet and 28 on a regular diet.
Well, I wonder if it was statistically significant. Does it say?
It doesn't say. It doesn't seem like it would be with a number that small. Anyway, the differences, I suppose, could be... blah, 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 blah. The Arthritis Research Campaign, which is currently looking into how statins may reduce cardiovascular risks for sufferers, said the study was of interest, but said the role of diet could be exaggerated. However, quote, however, we do know that, for example, eating oily fish, not vegan, can reduce inflammation, and risk factors for developing the condition include high consumption of red meat and low consumption of fruit and vegetables. Not vegan. So diet does play a role. You do have to eat your fruits and vegetables, vegans. You can't live on battered, deep-fried pizza alone. Okay, Lily? Anyway, include high consumption of red meat and low consumption of fruit and vegetables. So diet does play a role, however limited, a spokeswoman said. But the charity also sounded a note of warning. Sorry, I'm a little slow today.
Well, you're reading and trying to do that.
It's a lot
hard.
to do.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, better audience.
Well, that's true. I mean, there's more interest in the topic as
exactly.
well. I mean,
people are listening because they want to listen.
Exactly. My theory class is not something people are taking by choice.
Right. They have to.
They have to. So here we are. We're back again. I think what we'll begin with is this BBC News article that a whole bunch of people sent to us. We want to thank all the people who sent it. I can't unfortunately thank all of them by name. There are like a ton. But the article is called Vegan Diet Help for Arthritis. And the article says that rheumatoid arthritis patients may be able to reduce their high risk of heart attacks and strokes with a gluten-free vegan diet, a study suggests. So let's see. Rheumatoid arthritis affects around 350,000 people in the UK. And that an arthritis research and therapy study found that those who pursued a vegan regime had less quote-unquote bad cholesterol. Research at the Karolinska Institute in Stockholm say that the risk could be reduced through a diet which excludes animal products and gluten found in wheat, oats, rye, and barley. What they did is they placed 38 volunteers on a diet in which protein accounted for 10% of daily energy intake, carbohydrate 60, and fat for 30. It included nuts, sunflower seeds, fruits, and vegetables, millet, and corn. Happy. Sesame milk provided a daily source of calcium.
Sesame milk?
Sesame milk.
I don't think I've ever seen sesame milk.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like it'd be good.
I don't know, maybe.
Sesame milk?
I don't know.
Think about tahini.
Tahini's very strong.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Well, whatever.
I guess they're probably trying to avoid soy.
I think they were trying to do nut milk.
Nut milk.
Nut milk. I'm looking for... Oh, it took the Beavis out of here.
Oh, no.
Where is it? Oh, no. There's no
How
Beavis.
can we say nut milk without a Beavis noise?
I don't know. I took it out.
Oh, well.